Hello, very good morning. Welcome to JS Testing Academy. Welcome to the next part of video in the rest assured series. Right. So we are right sending requests in the past videos with various things. Like for example, we created Pojo class and we tried to pass a request, and then payload we tried and we tried through hash map. We also tried through a data provider, but suppose there is if there is a large set of requests, right? Normally we keep it in the Excel sheet. To how to connect with an Excel sheet and pass a request. That is what we are going to see in this particular video. If we are have a large set of right requests to send to the server and check it, right? So we need write an Excel file like Excel file to right save the request and send it and then see the response. Okay, for example, right, I have this Excel sheet where I have three right headers, right, title, body and author. I pass three different values. Okay, let me write I have three different right request here. One first is API test Frank and rest testing Joshi and rest assured automation Joshi. Right, I have three different requests need to pass. I kept an Excel sheet. Now what I'm going to do is, right, I'm going to write a code here. Okay, I kept this Excel sheet in that src test folder in data 1.xls. Okay, I so kept this in the src test resources under data 1.xls. Make sure you are keeping this data sheet in your project folder so that you can be called to your test case. Okay, so let me create a new file now. Okay, uh, request, all right, Excel. Okay, like that. I'm just going to keep an right, create one class and give a public static void main there. Okay, let me delete the garbage steps. Okay, let me start writing the code now. So as I told you, we are going to create an Excel sheet and keep it in our project folder. Then we are going to call that to our test case. Okay, so I already created one Excel sheet. Let me first give the path of the Excel sheet. Okay, sheet equal to, okay, now let me right, give the path of the section. Let me copy it, copy qualify name. Let me print it. I'll remove the project. Let me keep only the path there. Then I'll give a semicolon there. Okay, now I created one Excel sheet, right, Excel path. Let me change it to Excel path. Okay, now I'll use file input stream to read the data. Okay, file input stream. Okay, then I'll give input equal to new. Okay, file input stream. Okay, then what I'll do is, right, I'll pass the path. Okay, Excel path, I'll copy, I'll paste here. Okay, then I'll give a semicolon. I'll import the file input stream package and I'll add the exception. Okay, one important thing I forgot to tell, you have to add the dependency Apache Py dependency. I have added these two dependency, Apache Py 5.2.3 and Apache Py ovo.xml 5.2.3. So make sure you're adding this dependency in your project and you update the project. Okay, go to the Google and search Apache Py Maven dependency and add this to your project so that right, it works. Okay, don't forget this, right, please. Okay, so now let me, I created one right reference where I kept the path of the Excel, named it as input. Okay, now what I'll do is, first we have to navigate to the workbook. If you see, right, first this is an workbook, right, we need to go to the workbook, then sheet, then row, and then column. Okay, so this order we should go. First, we should get the workbook, right? So workbook as a whole is a workbook. Then we have different sheets. Then we have rows, right, and columns. Then we have cells, right? This is a cell, right? And this completely is a row, and this is a column, right? We have to go right in a step by step manner so that you are getting the right cell. Okay, workbook. Okay, now let me create a reference workbook equal to, okay, new, right? We are using xsf package. Okay, xsf workbook, 1 minute, workbook. Okay, then I'm going to pass this input reference in the workbook. Okay, the excel path. Okay, it's going to read from the excel path and it's going to import the workbook. 1 minute. Okay, let me add this one. So let me add the exception also. Okay, so I created a reference for workbook. First I went to the workbook. Now we need to go and find the sheet, right? Which sheet? Sheet number 1. Okay, for that what we need to do is, right, I'll create one class sheet reference equal to, okay, workbook dot get. Okay, we have to use sheet at, okay, sheet at, okay, 0. So what is the 0 is? This is an index, right? For example, right, let me, if you go right, this is sheet 0 and this sheet 1, this sheet 2, right? First always it will be index. Here also index first will be 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. Okay, so I given sheet 0 so that it's going and checking this or fetching data from sheet 1. Okay, so I gave sheet at 0. Okay, so now the right, the path is set at sheet, right, 0. Okay, now I'm using and for loop for iteration, right? So I'm giving I equal to 1. Why I'm giving I equal to 1 means, if I give 0, this header will take, we need only the request, right? So I'm just giving 1 instead of 0. If I give 0, it will take title also, right? So we need only the request to be passed, right? So I'll give I equal to 1, okay, colon, okay, I less than, okay, equal, less than equal to sheet dot get last row number. Okay, if I get this method will fetch the last row number. What is the last row number? Fourth one. Okay, so if I give get the last row number, it will iterate for 4 times, or it will, if I give 1, it will iterate for 3 times, 1 2 3. So I need to fetch the last row number, so this iterating till the fourth one. Okay, so I'll give last row number. Okay, then I'm going to give, okay, give a colon, then I plus plus, right, to iterate. Okay, now let me give the parenthesis, the curly bracket. Okay, let me, I didn't initialize it, int. Okay, now what I'll do is, right, we need to go to the row now. Okay, so we need to go to the row now. For that we need one class row. Okay, we went to the sheet. Now we need to go and fetch the row now. Sheet dot, okay, there is one method called as get row. Okay, get row, and it is I. What is I now? 1. What is 1 now? This one, API. It will get, go to this first row, that is API. Okay, first time it will go 1, next iteration 2, third iteration it will go for the rest assured. Okay, like that it's going to iterate. That's why we are going to give the for loop here. Okay, So hope you are right following and getting what I'm telling here. Okay. Now what I need to do is we went into the row. We need to go into the cell and get the cell value here. Okay. For that, so we need to pass three requests here. One is title equal to, okay, row dot, we need one this get cell, right. There is one method called as get cell. Okay. And we need to give 0. Okay. So now we are in the first row. And what is cell 0 here? API. Cell 1 test. Cell 3 frank. The first row, this cell 0, cell 1 and cell 2. Okay. Now I give cell 1, cell 0 dot get string, all right, cell value. So it's going to take a string value and store it in title. So it's going to capture API in that Excel sheet. Okay. So API will be captured and stored it in a title here. Now same thing, we need to get the body also. I'll copy this and I'll paste here. I'll change it to body. Here we need to go to the next cell. Body is where? Right? In one, right? So you need to get the test now. It's one. Again, let me copy, right? Sorry. I'll just copy and paste here and I'll give, right, author. Okay. Now I'll give 2, right? What is 2 now? It's frank now. Okay. So the first iteration, it will just keep, right, take the request as title, body and author. Next iteration will go to the rest, testing and Joshi. Okay. Now, so it we stored all this, captured all these values and stored it. So for a debugging purpose, we'll print it also to make sure we, right, captured from the Excel sheet. Okay. Let me print it. Okay. Title, okay, colon, okay, title, okay. Now we'll give again plus body, colon. So we're just confirming, right, whether we capture took from Excel or not. Okay. Body, okay. Then again plus, we'll give author. Okay. Colon, okay. Now let me print, right, we'll print this author also. Okay. So now we are just going to print it. Okay. Now what we need to do is, right, we got everything. We need to normally write our rest assured code so that it's, right, passing. So before that, we need a request, right. We need to pass the JSON request. Okay. For that, what I'll do is, right, I'll give this, normally will pass a request, right. I'll keep it outside. Okay. I need to copy this request, right? I'll go to the previous code. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, I'll copy this one. Okay, I'll paste here. Uh, okay, I'll copy and I'll paste here. Okay, so 1 minute. Okay, So now what we are doing is, right, we are just sending the JSON request from the Excel sheet. So this title will be called here. This body, right, will be passed as a JSON request. It will be kept here, and this author will be passed here. So first iteration, what happens? It takes title and sends in the JSON request. The same takes body and sends in the JSON request, takes author and sends the JSON request. Next iteration goes for the second row, takes the request as title, body and author till you get the last row number. If I give 10, so 10 times it's going to iterate. So this is how the logic is going to work. Okay, so we need to keep this JSON request so that we are calling to our test. Okay, now we can write our normal REST assured code. Okay, so now we can give given dot, okay, base URI. Okay, let me import the static imports. I'll go here. I'll give the static imports. Okay, now I'll call the base URI. Okay, base URI. Okay, now I'll give the right base URI and go to the previous code, copy the base URI. Okay, let me copy this full code. I'll go in this way. I'll copy this one, keep the rest assured dot base URI. Then what I'll do is write response equal to given dot, right. So then what we do is, right, then you give when dot, okay, then you give get. So normal code which you wrote, right, you need to pass the right post request here. Okay, so I'll copy this one. Okay, it's not get, we are posting, right, so we need to give the post. Okay, now I'll give post here. I left one thing, we need to pass the body here. Okay, body, what is a body? Request body. Okay, then I need to pass the resource here. Okay, now then we'll do then I'll status code validation 200. Okay, so we are given the status code validation, that is 200. Okay, now what we do is, right, we need to extract the response. Okay, let me give extract dot response, right, and give a semicolon. Then we need that returns a response. I'll import it. Okay, now what I'll do is, right, I'll print the response. Okay, sys out response. Okay, colon, I'll give plus symbol for concatenation dot as string. Okay, now we'll just run the code. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm just given post, then status code, extract response. Let me see. Okay, We can see, right, three times it iterated. Okay, first it took API body test author, it took. Okay, then next time rest body and author Joshi, three times it's iterated. So it took three times from the Excel sheet and it passed the request. Okay, hope you all got it right. So three times, right, it passed. First title, then body, then author. Okay, so three times, right? First iteration we saw in the Excel sheet, right? API test and Frank, we got it. API test and Frank. Next is, right, Rust testing and Joshi. Right, we got, right, Rust testing and Joshi. Third one is, right, Rust assured automation and Joshi. We got, right, Rust assured. So three times it got from the Excel sheet and pass the request and fetch the response. So this is how we can link the Excel sheet with our Rust assured code and we can automate. If there is a bulk set of requests like 10, 15, 20, we can use this way of right, connecting with an Excel sheet, or we can use data provider if you have less set of requests, or we can combine both test ng and the data provider and Excel also we can do it. Or if you have one request, you can use right, the Pojo class. Okay, hope this video is useful for you. Thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day. Bye.